Hey everybody, it's Darlene Taylor, the Recycled Mom, and I welcome you to today's chat. And I am so excited. It's a Pet Peeves chat. And if you've been following me during this month of Vlogust, you'll see that I've had a couple pet peeve videos while I was driving around in the car. And today, or actually, it was this morning. I was having a chat with my kids. My kids are 19, 16, and 13. And we were having a chat about, popular things in the culture. Stephanie, hello, the main Daniels. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I just wanted to get started right away because I don't know how long this is going to go. I don't know if we're going to be talking about this stuff a lot, but anyway, for those of you that are watching the replay, I am Darlene Taylor. If you've never been here before, I'm the Recycled Mom, and this channel is for you. It is for moms. It is for overwhelmed moms who are seeking hope and direction. I'm a certified life coach and a voice coach and an addictions counselor. So that's a lot of hats already right there. I'm a homeschool mom of 3. I've been married for 24 years, almost 25. And anyway, that's a little bit about me. But I don't want to drag along too long. If you're watching the replay, put in hashtag replay. If you're here live, woo! Thank you for joining. And let's get into talking about this stuff. Okay, so my oldest daughter, some of you know, she just graduated in June, and now she has a job. She works for a major book retailer. I don't know if I could say the name, and actually I'm not really going to, but you guys will know. You guys know. Booksellers and stuff. So she works at a bookstore. It's her happy place. But in that job, she has to deal with books. She shelves, a lot of books, and she shelves a lot of books that are risque. She really has been kind of assigned, if you will, not really assigned, but this kind of where she has fallen into is the young adult teen section in the store. And in that section, you'll find things like anime, your fantasy books, things like Harry Potter or oh my goodness, I can't even think of anything right now. All I can think of is manga and, anime, like things that go along like Harry Potter and The Hobbit, anything like the sci-fi, but just anything that is young adult, okay, goes in this section. But in a bookstore, they sell everything. They sell everything. They sell magazines, from every type of magazine, from Popular Mechanics or, real simple home magazines, bride magazines, to the things like Playboy magazines and things like that. They sell that in the store. In the bookstore, they sell all things from self-help books to self-indulgent books, if you will. So you've got your 50 Shades of Grey over here, and then you've got your 50 Dinners over here. That was bad. I probably shouldn't use that. Anyhow, so when we were talking about, she's just like, so I asked her, I said, so what happens when people, when they go up and buy the books, do you actually have to card someone or ask for their ID if they're buying a book like 50 Shades of Grey, or a, Playboy magazine? Of course, that magazine's wrapped, that kind of stuff. There are some other books that are wrapped, and some other books that have some titles on them that are straightforward and stuff, right? Well, but they're a bookstore, so they sell everything. And come to find out, they don't have any. There isn't a thing where you have to be carded to buy a book that could be, let's say Playboy. I'm just going to use that one. So they don't have to card you to buy it. You got money? You're going to buy it? Okay. So I guess it's kind of where my concern is. It's not so much in the store, because I know that you can't really, if you don't want your children and your kids to be purchasing those things, once they start making their own money or they get money, there's always going to be a way. But just letting you know, that's what, so today's chat, I forgot to do my disclaimer, you guys, okay? This chat has TMI in it, all over this chat, because there's going to be sensitive topics talked about. But also, so you might want to not have your children around when we talk about this stuff today. But also, I want to let you guys know, and I wrote this down so I would get it right, that this chat is not me bashing video games or, kids playing video games, books, movies, anything like that. Okay, it's not about that. Not, you shouldn't be making that kind of stuff. That's not what this is about. And this is not a bashing on the rating systems that are out there. You have the rating systems like TVMA or PG-13 for certain movies, and, there's games and books and all that kind of stuff. I'm not bashing the rating system at all. I am just a mom who has just a deep concern for what I think are inconsistencies where, if you have to be, let's say you go to a gaming store, okay, a popular gaming store, and you have to be 18 or older to buy a specific game. They'll card you there. It will card you to see if you are 18 or above to buy or to play the specific game. And I'm trying to think of the game. Is it, I think Grand Theft Auto, you have to be over 18. Assassin's Creed, you have to be over 18, and that kind of thing. So you need an adult, or you have to be 18 yourself. So if you can't, so my son can't work there either. My son wants to work in this gaming store, but you have to be 18 because you have to sell those games. So same thing at the bookstore that my daughter works with. You have to be 18 because they sell that stuff, right? But if you have to be 18 to work there because you're selling it, but yet you can, in a bookstore, go in and buy a book and not be 18. See what I have? I have a problem with this inconsistency. It's just like, well, how come my daughter couldn't get a job there when she was 16, when she wanted to get a job there? But that's my thing, is that if you're gonna be carded to buy the game at a gaming store or a store that sells the games, and you have to be 18. But then, you guys, if the game or the book or whatever is in the library and your 10-year-old child has a library card, then they can just go in and get the book or the game and bring it home. And if you, the parent, do not know anything about that game or the book or anything about the movie, then your kids are just having this open access that's pretty much okay. And even the library. My daughter and I were talking to one of the library staff a couple months ago because there was some kind of I can't remember. Well, we were talking about just the topic of mature content books. And they're in the library. And a lot of parents think that the library is a safe place to go get books. Not necessarily. I mean, it's a safe place, but the material there that's out for purchase here, or that's, it's still there at the library. So if you're letting your kids go to the library, they can get it. Even if they don't have a library card, they can get the book, sit down, read it, and then pop it off and go, or drop it off and go back home. The thing is, so if you are a parent that is concerned about what your kids are being involved in, or you don't want them to be in that section or that area until a certain age, then this is for you. This is for you to think about, hey, wait a minute, I need to think about the library, and I need to think about this place, or, you know what I'm saying? Not that it's a bad thing. It's just that I think that we need to be aware of what is going on. And, oops, sorry, checking some things. Okay. So some things that my daughter was telling me about. So anime was like the big thing that a lot of people think that anime or manga, it's, they're graphic novels, and a lot of people think that they're safe, or it's just, what's a graphic novel? How harmless can it be? Well, she was telling me about that when she was doing stock and shelving some books, she was noticing that there were anime books that were wrapped in paper, which I thought was very interesting. And so if your kids are going into that section at the bookstore or in the library, and they see these titles. They have this access to these titles. So a couple of them, some of them that I had not heard of, and I thought I would just pass along to you, that look like they're okay if you're okay with anime or manga. You've got one, and I don't even know how to say it. It's Monster Musume. In here, actually, let me just put the. Can you see that? So that's what, I don't even know how to say that. I don't know how to say it. So that's what it is. And I had no idea what it was. But my daughter was saying that it was something that was very pornographic in nature. You know, it had a lot to do with sex and stuff. And she said, and this is in the young adult section, and kids are coming in and getting these books. And I was like, well, what is Monster Musume or Musume? And so what I did is, so here's a resource for you. One of the couple resources that you can go to are imdb.com. They have a parent's guide there for movies, games, TV shows, books, that kind of thing. And there's also another one called commonsensemedia.org, and that's another, and those are down in the description box as well, so you can link to those. You can create an account if you want and be notified of things that are just, you know, they're just reviews on everything. So it's not like, oh, we're bashing this thing. It's just, they try to be neutral in their reviews. So the first review that I had for Monster Musume, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, is from IMDb, and it's from the Parent's Guide. First of all, you can see that there are the ratings, the certifications. So like, for example, in the United States, this anime manga is rated TVMA. Okay? Then there, in like South Korea, it's 18, Germany 16, United Kingdom 18, Malaysia is P13, which is a DVD rating. And apparently this is a TV series, by the way. Canada is 13 plus, Russia 14 plus, Canada 13 plus is in Quebec, and then 14A is the Canadian home video rating. And then Australia is MA 15 plus. So that tells you where this is at and what the different ratings are. We have TVMA, which I'm assuming is 18 and over. That's adult in nature. So the very first thing on, this is a TV series that most parents probably would let their kids watch because it's anime. The very first thing comes up is sex and nudity, and 13 out of 14, that's severe. So severe rating on sex and nudity, okay, and this is what's in it. Bondage, BDSM scenes referenced in the show, but not too sexual, they say. In the first minute of episode 1, the lead character is straddled by Lamia. You can see her, I'm not sure how graphic I can be on this channel. You can see up top, he attempts to grab her butt and make her get off of him, but this results in, I should have read this before I started doing it here live. This show is strictly fan service, meaning that the show is based around appealing to the desires of the audience. This has an abundance of sexual innuendos, uncensored and censored. Multiple sexual scenes in every episode. Frequent, strong sexual innuendos and partial nudity. In the uncensored version, bare breasts are fully visible, while the television version has the chest obscured. The main character, which is repeatedly questioned on whether he's had sex with any of the monster girls, he always denies. There's no violence. Okay, strong sexual themes. So we get it, right? So there's a parent's guide to this, all right? So you want to let your children watch this. Okay, so anyway. Yeah, the books and shows can be very graphic in nature, Stephanie. Absolutely. Okay. And So here's a review from, let's see, what is his name? Geeks. I think I got this from Geeks. I don't know if it's geeks.com. I did not actually get the website for this. But I remember the website at the top said Geeks is powered by vocal creators. You support Riot Dragon by reading, sharing, and tipping stories, blah, 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 blah. All right. So here's his review, and I'm not going to read all of it because he goes I don't even think I can say anything of what he says on here. But again, ready? TMI warning. Okay, so this tells you right here, right under here, his review of Monster Musume. The genre is fantasy, harem, and comedy. That tips you off right there, right? Hey Athena, passion as a verb. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the live stream. And thank you for joining us. Now, we are talking right now. I've been talking about how do I just verbalize all of this? Just my concerns about the inconsistencies and the easy access of mature content for kids out there. I'm not even talking online. That's just like, that's open access right there. But in our libraries, in our bookstores, okay, and any other place where you can purchase these things, game stores. Now, and anyway, so back to the Geeks review of Monster Musume. Okay, now you can find these. This is a TV series, and he says, now I don't understand what ecchi level is, but at the ecchi level is soft core, you guys. And he says the first scene in the show is darn near a sex scene, okay? So he says, I heard a lot about this show from a lot of different places, so I decided to give it a shot. I was not prepared. This anime is essentially about a human world and a monster world coming together. In the monster world, all of the humans' myths about half creatures, half animals are true. The citizens of this particular realm come in all shapes and sizes of monster, from Lamia, I don't know if I'm saying that right, to centaur, to drider, to orcs and doppelgangers. Even zombies aren't off limits here. Anyway, the two worlds are now open to each other, and monster creatures have started coming to our world to visit, tourist around, and even stay through a system that allows them to live in a host house. The series starts off with a protagonist and his ward, the lovely Lamia Mia. In a sense, it's a slice of life where this guy keeps getting more and more wards staying at his home. And I have to say right off the bat that this series definitely uses sex to sell. But unlike most anime, this uses it extremely well, he says. So this tells you right here, I mean, I don't need to read anymore. I know exactly what all of this is about. But however, this is what you're finding in this kind of anime, is what you're finding in the bookstores, in the library, on Netflix. If you don't have any parental controls or any kind of thing, your kids are going to have access to this. So you need to know that not all anime is, fun and games, there's a lot. You have to be careful of every book when it comes to anime and manga. So if your kids are interested in that, please just check your reviews, check what they're getting, because I know of only one case, but I'm sure there are more. There's Google and YouTube and search engines, right? But there is a case where someone at the game store sees this kid come up and wants to buy, or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't the kid, it was the mom. The mom came in to buy a game, and I don't remember what game it was, but it was MA. A parent, an adult needs to purchase that game. And she was talking about how her son had been wanting this game. So the clerk had asked her if she knew what the game was about, and then he began to explain what the game was all about. And she said, I don't want that game. And then she had no idea. She was appalled that she was letting her son play this game, which now is in its third or fourth series. You've got part 1, 2, 3, and 4 of this game and stuff. So she was letting her son play this game, and she didn't know. So not only she just didn't know, And she was going because, well, my son wants it and it's a game. And a game is probably fun, right? So, oh my gosh, Walmart too, Athena, Walmart, right? And so I asked my daughter, so my daughter, for you just joining, my daughter works at a major bookstore. And, you know, again, everything is for sale. Literally, everything is for sale. And so she, you know, she's saying it was bothering her seeing the kids that were coming in and getting these books and reading these books. And she, you know, and she's just like, well, I can't say anything. I can't really go up there and tell them, you know, you can't read that. You better stop doing that, right? Because this is a dilemma that we have. That's why I asked her. I said, so if you're the clerk, if you're the person that's cashing someone out and you see someone, I mean, if you're not carding them, but you obviously see that there is a young girl who's 12, 13 buying 50 Shades of Grey, are you not allowed to say anything? And you really aren't. So that bothers me. And this is so this is why this is a pet peeve episode. And this is something I really can't, well, we can't really do anything about pet peeves. I know what I can do for my family, and I know what I could do for myself is educate myself on just keeping my eyes open. Okay, so like a bookstore might be obvious, a gaming store might be obvious, but Walmart, like Athena said, library is a big one. The library, because a lot of parents drop their kids off at the library and let them spend time there. Now, you can't, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that you can't do because the library has, you know, things in place where you can't access porn and stuff like that on the internet at the library. But there are other, I mean, you can't, so you can't access it on the internet, but you can go get a book. You know, you can go, and maybe even if the kid's not going to check out the book, they'll get the book and go take off somewhere in the corner of the library and read the book. Right? You know, graphic novels. Kids can go upstairs. They've got little reading areas and stuff, and then grab the graphic novel. And the library has these things. It's not like the library, you know, library is a public domain. And so the library is going to have these things. My daughter was concerned when she was at the library, and so she asked both of us were there, and we were asking the staff, so you really can't say no to this stuff, and you can't say, well, I'm sorry, you can't check that out. You're not, you know, you're only 13. Because there is no carding rule. You know, you got a library card, go for it. You know, or you just go to the library and get the book and read it. Let's see. It's a very difficult position your daughter has been put in on both sides of the fence. She can't say anything, but if a parent wants to come in and have an issue with it, she has to deal with it. Oh, gosh. Yes. Now, really, she is she's mainly stocking. She gets stock off the truck and she's shelving. And actually, that's her happy place. Y'all know she you know, like that's her happy place, not having to be under a lot of pressure. And she likes organizing, and she, you know, so this is great. She has pretty much kind of organized the manga section and the young adult section in this bookstore, and that's great. She's happy with it. She's in charge of her own little section, and she loves it. But you're right. People will come up to her and ask her where such and such is. So, for example, there was an old elderly lady. I'm just telling you, like if you watch all my pet peeves video, my first pet peeves video, and I'm talking about the old ladies in the grocery store and how they just don't care. Right. So this lady came up to her, and she was kind of giggly, but she asked my daughter, she's like, "Excuse me, where are the how'd she put it? Wait a minute, the what the F coloring books?" And my daughter's like, "What?" She's like, and she was laughing. She goes, "Well, you know, what the F coloring books?" And that's how she said it. So Elizabeth's like, "Well, I know that she didn't really know where they were at because, you know, she's only been working there a few weeks, but she pointed her to the direction, and then when the lady found them, she said, she came back and she says, they were right, and she goes, see, this is what they are." My daughter's like, you know, and this was said on there, what the F coloring books, and she was just like, I didn't even know these things existed. And, you know, so Elizabeth, she's seeing things and she's shelving things, she's just like, I didn't know these things existed. Okay. So, and it is a very precarious position to be in, but as a parent, I wanted to give you those resources, which are down in the description box. There's a few websites that you can go to that will give you some things that you can go check. So if there's so talk to your kids and find out what they're interested in, which is what I do all the time. And my kids, they don't think I'm being nosy. They know that I'm genuinely concerned. And I have a heart for teens and college age women. You all know me. I have a heart for them, and I genuinely want to find out what interests them. I need to find out these things. I need to find out the lingo that they're talking to each other. I need to learn about Discord and WhatsApp and Twitch and all of these things that these kids are getting involved in, and I'm still way behind. But when I hear something, I go check it out, right? Instead of just being ignorant and taking their explanation or their explanation for it. Because trusting your kids to tell you everything. Look, I love my kids, but come on, when you were a kid, were you being that trustworthy with your parents? Did you just tell them what you thought they wanted to know? And you just told them just a little bit of surface information and we're good here. As long as they don't go any deeper, I'm fine. Come on, right? And so I love my kids, but I'm not going to in this area, trust them fully. That doesn't mean that I don't love them, and I'm giving them the option, so it's not like I'm hateful, okay? So don't go there. But she's a very mature young woman being able to handle being put in such awkward scenarios. Oh, gosh, thank you, Stephanie. That's what I want my kids to be. I want them to be, we have our firm beliefs and our standards and our convictions, right? And they're ours, and we're not going to force them on anybody else. My daughter will be able to shine for who she is because of who is inside her, and Jesus is her Lord, and because of that, she's going to be able to shine her own light, march to the beat of her own drum because of that, because of Him. She's not going to, Now when it comes to it's a very hard position to be in, and for a parent, it's very hard to be in, because now, okay, so y'all know she's 19, she's legally an adult, right? And I have friends who are parents, where their kids have gotten to be 18, 19, and I've watched their kids throw that adult card at their parents and say, well, you can't tell me what to do, I'm an adult, and they drop out of school. I had, one mom I know that her child dropped out of school. They do their own thing. They, whatever. Like, I'm 18 and you can't tell me what to do anymore. And I did not, and I do not want my kids to get to that point when they're 18, they can just throw that card. And now, can they? Yes. But my kids have never chosen to do that. So far, Elizabeth, she just turned 19 last month. So, can she, sure, legally in America, your kid can do that. It can throw that card at you and walk out, right? And you can't really, you're just like, okay, fine. And oh gosh, you guys, it's just been, I hear horror stories, and I have been with parents whose kids have done that, and I just, wanted to, I guess my kids will tell you, I wish they could have been on here with me today, that, it's like, just because, they're 18 or 16, 15, well, okay, my oldest is 19 and my son is 16, just that just because they're that age doesn't mean that they all of a sudden start getting all of this stuff, because they realize that age is just a number. Your brain and your body don't fully mature until you're 21, okay? Now, a lot of kids are more mature at 18, 19, 20 than a lot of adults are at 40, because I have seen some things. And, so age is just a number, really. Maturity is something different. And speaking of maturity, that reminds me, I pulled some of these reviews from a couple sites. So let's see, we talked about Monster Musume. I don't even know how to say that. So basically, if you know the term, when I refer to TNA, if you know what that is, okay, because I'm not going to say those words. TNA, that's what this is. It uses TNA a lot in that show, okay? So the next thing that, hang on a second, I gotta get my main paper out here so I stay on track. All right, so the next thing that Elizabeth was telling me about that's out there is a TV show called Citrus. Have you guys heard of that? Okay, I did not. Yeah, right. Your child does not tell you everything. I research anything. Yes, that is a good mom, a good parent. Research and study up and ask and get your kids to talk about it and even check out the game, like watch them play or watch somebody else play so that so you're not just saying, no. Give them, make sure you understand what you're talking about, what you're saying no to. Help our kids navigate, because if all we're saying is no, like, no, you're not going to do that, and you're not going to go there, and you're not going to have this, and there's never going to be a why attached to it, or some kind of a discussion that you have with them, because it's like, okay, why do you want to? Why do you want to have this? Why do you want to play that game? What's appealing about this to you? Why do you want to listen to that music? What do you like about it? Genuinely getting to know why this is interesting to them, so that you can, first of all, get to know what's appealing to them, and then you can help them navigate through that. Should it be something they are watching and listening to? Is it like, well, maybe not the whole anime things, because my kids watch, what do they call it? My Hero Academia, that's anime, and Dragon Ball. They watch those, and I've seen those because they've watched them down in the family room, and I've seen those, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, but not all anime is good. And Elizabeth will tell you that. She's like, Mom, not all anime is good for kids. It is, it's very adult in nature. So, Athena, I wish my daughter would. What do you wish your daughter would do? Where did you put that comment in the conversation? Tell me. So the next thing she was telling me about was Citrus. Now this is, as far as I know, this says it's 2018 is when the series came out. It is a TV show. It is rated TV 14 in the United States. Sorry, I got to get a pen here to keep track of where I'm at. Okay, so United States, the rating is TV 14. South Korea is 19. And Australia, they've rated it M. All right. Okay, so this rating is from IMDb, the Parent's Guide. And 7 out of 10 found sex and nudity moderate. And here, this is what you see. Now, Citrus, the very cover, you've got two girls hugging. And so it's very much about girls with girls. Occasional bathing scenes show the outlines of girls' breasts and buttocks, but no explicit detail. While there are no actual sex scenes, high school girls are occasionally seen passionately kissing, licking each other's necks, stroking each other's legs, and ripping each other's tops open. Okay, TV 14 in the United States. So where is this playing? I don't even know where this is playing. I don't know if you can see it on Netflix. It's a TV miniseries. I don't even know where you can watch it. Amazon? Can you watch on Amazon Prime? I think you can, because I see something about Amazon. No, that's probably just... Anyway, I'm not sure where you can watch this. Okay. High school girl and a male teacher are seen passionately making out, but then he's later fired for his inappropriate actions. Violence and gore, none. Profanity, they say mild. So they use your general, I say general cuss words. They use sexual put-downs, okay, like slut and stuff. No smoking or drinking. Oh, finally, some morals. Sorry, you guys. Again, I don't want to be offensive, but I'm pleading with parents. Figure out what this stuff is, okay? And do you really want your kids watching it, all right? Now, there's something on here called frightening and intense scenes, all right? Now, I'm shocked by this. 1 of 8 found it moderate. There are several instances in which a girl is forcefully kissed, or nearly molested without provocation. For instance, the protagonist of the series, the aptly named Yuzu, is constantly placed into scenarios where her stepsister Mei kisses her or forces her down, and also has the habit of emotionally manipulating her. Why do our girls need to be watching this? I mean, really, because this is, I mean, there's enough of it out there. Hello, Me Too, right? There's enough of this crap out there, and we're going to, and they want to, why? Why is this even made television? And it's anime. You guys, come on. And so while this lessens the further the series progresses, this could be seen as offensive, especially if these scenes traumatize anyone who was harassed. But why do we need to be seeing this anyway? So, not in the United States, but in Australia, it's rated M for sexual themes and sexualized imagery. This should tell you. I'm sorry, I'm pointing with my pen. Okay, sorry. Mama's getting on her soapbox, and I don't want to bash anime. I'm trying to make you all aware that anime and manga is not what it seems, and you all need to be aware of what your kids. It's a we thing. I'm not pointing at you. I should rephrase. It's a we thing. We. Okay? I want to make sure. I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure that I got everything that I want to tell you. Oh, there's also another one. I did not find a review on this. I was having a hard time, so it tells me that it's something very new, but it's also something under manga anime, and it's called Goblin Slayer, and that one is very heavy on the gore. Okay? Yeah. All right? So, look at the covers of the books, okay? So, here you go. TMI warning, okay? Right? TMI warning right here. Okay, so, I'm going to see. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I'm going to hold it up best I can. Okay? Let's see. All right, can you see that? Look, this is anime. Whoop, sorry. Manga. Do you see how disproportionate the girls are? Okay, and we want to talk to girls today about natural beauty and not, that being a person, and we want people to see, we want girls, especially young girls and guys, to see each other as a whole person and not as a sex object. Well, I mean, hello, that is a sex object, okay? Why do we need to further this along with our girls? Okay? My daughter has a friend who has a very poor self-image, and she's just the sweetest thing. And, and we've got more of this. This is just staring them in the face. If it's not, I'm sorry, I don't want to name drop, but if it's not on the magazines like Vogue or Cosmopolitan or something, if they're not seeing it at the checkout line, they're seeing it on TV, they're seeing it in their anime and the programs that are catering to them. Okay? So, again, be aware of what your kids are into. Okay? I've got one more thing. Okay, this one's a video game, and I know everyone has heard about Grand Theft Auto. Okay? I was curious more because I was on the review site commonsense.org, and I was having trouble finding Citrus and Monster Musume. So I was having trouble finding those topics. That's because they're new. But I did find Grand Theft Auto, and of course, there's all of the games. Grand Theft Auto 5 is out. I don't know. This review is from September 2013. This is like 6 years ago, you guys. Hold on a second. Got to get a drink. Look, this is a new drink, you guys. So this is, all right, I can't get this over there. Okay, guys, I like bangs, okay? I like these drinks. This one is called Keto Coffee. It has 20 grams of protein, Now there's 10 total carbs, but there's 6 grams of fiber. So there's 4 net carbs in this and 2.5 grams of fat, 150 calories, and it's very tasty. It's not fizzy or anything. It tastes just like coffee and cream. And I think this is Mocha Madness. So it tastes like a Starbucks mocha. So if you like those Starbucks mocha frappuccino things that you get in the refrigerator section, then you will like this bang. You won't get the sugars in it, and it'll be good for you. All right, so Grand Theft Auto 5. All right. Now, when Grand Theft Auto first came out, it was about stealing cars and running them off a cliff or bashing them into things and stuff. It was okay. It started somewhere, and people were griping about it then. But Grand Theft Auto is all about shock and awe. Okay, and I found this interesting. CommonSense.org gives this a rating of 18 plus. I think it's a game for adults. Okay. I do not know what the actual rating is on this. So if you know, please drop it in the comments. Okay. If the Grand Theft Auto 5 is it rated teen or is it rated MA? I think it was MA, but it's not showing it on here. So I don't know, and I don't want to say because I don't want to be wrong. But Common Sense says the rating is 18 and over. Parents say it's 12 and over, and kids say it's 13, which I thought was interesting that the kids gave a higher age rating than the parents did. So, okay, so here's the inconsistency I have a problem with on this game. If it is MA, and you have to be 18 to buy the game at the game store, then you have to be, hey, Becky, welcome to the chat. Today's not such a fun chat. It is a pet peeve chat, but this one's a little serious, and I'm talking with other moms and parents about being aware of all the different the inconsistencies about being able to get books and games and that kind of thing, at the library versus you have to be carded at the game store or someplace like that, So anyway, oh, thank you. It's rated MA. I thought it might have been. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm sorry, I pointed at you. I have a habit of doing this. I'm so sorry. Mr. Pointer, get up. Anyway, okay, so it's rated MA. Okay, so Common Sense says 18 and over. And the parents say that 12 and the kids say 13. Now, okay, I've never played Grand Theft Auto 5. My kids don't want to play it. But I have told them I didn't want them playing it either because I have heard stuff. Now, me as a parent, I don't want to always say that without the why, remember? So I was like, you know what? Before I say anything about you shouldn't play that game because of what other people have heard, I took it upon myself to do some research. So I went on YouTube, and there's tons of gaming channels on YouTube, where you can just watch someone play the game. So I was watching someone play Grand Theft Auto 5. Right, Becky, you have to be 18 to purchase it because of the violence and mature content. You said a mouthful right there. Violence and mature content. Okay? So listen to these people on, I printed out a bunch because some of this blows my mind, okay? These are parent comments about this game, okay? All right, this is a parent. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see. Did I get out of order? Ooh. Oh, all right, yes. All right, so first of all, I watched someone play the game. I watched an adult play the game, and I was like, wow, okay, yeah, everything I've heard about this game, it's pretty graphic. And I was like, wow, it's like, watching a movie, but it was like graphic. I mean, someone blows someone's brains out over money or something, and that's stuff that you would see on the news. And that's not, and I turn the news off because I can't stand some of that, right? This parent of a 14 and a 16-year-old. So they have older teens, which is kind of where I'm at, okay? And Grand Theft Auto 5, he says, at least I think it's a he. Yes, it looks like the name is a he. Okay, so it says, as per usual, only half of the story is told by these review websites. Okay, so he's bashing on the review websites because they're saying that they're not telling the whole thing. They're just saying, poo, 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 you shouldn't play this game because of violence and gore. Okay, so he says, to be honest, as long as your child is over 13 and knows their right from wrong, then there's no real reason to stop them from getting this game. Okay. My son had been asking me for the games in the GTA series for quite a while. A lot of his friends have had this game since they were as young as 10, and he didn't understand why I wouldn't let him have it. Okay, discussion. He should have had discussion. Okay. Anyway, firstly, the mini game in the strip club isn't always on. Strip club. And there's no mission which makes you go there, so you should be able to trust them enough not to go there. What I say earlier about trusting my kids to not go into the nudie store or do something that they weren't told. I mean, when you were young, when you were a teenager, were you always forthright with your parents? Okay, right. So trust your child to skip the strip club in the game. And he says, and the same goes for the nudity, although it isn't shown very often. Okay, there's some morals there for you. Since the missions which are told in the cutscenes are repeated in the menu, skipping these cutscenes shouldn't interfere with their play through of the game. So in whole, as long as your child is mature enough. Mature. Remember what I said? It's just age is just a number. Maturity is something. Okay. To skip the cutscenes and know that the game isn't real life. Okay, I'll give you that. Then I don't think you should have any concerns about giving it to anyone over 13, since the language isn't any different than what they would hear at school. So that's our reasoning now. Is it's like, well, they hear it all the time at school and all that stuff. What's the big deal? Well, we don't have to hear that stuff at home, and we don't have to participate and put up with that stuff in our home. We can't control it out in the world, but in our home we can. That's what I have to say about that. Yes, Gamestop is another good one. I was looking for parent reviews. Does Gamestop do parent reviews, Becky? Because I wasn't sure. I've gotten game reviews, but I wasn't sure about like parent reviews on some of these are on commonsense.com, or I'm sorry, commonsense.org, imdb.com, where's the other one? And pluggedin.com is another one that is more of a faith-based one. So they give you right. Okay, so Stephanie, you can't go to those places until you're 21, but yet we're allowing them to go in there when they're 10, 11, 12. That's kind of where I have like a in society you can't go there, right? You can't purchase. Well, okay, in Virginia they raised you can't buy cigarettes at 18 anymore. You have to be 21. The drinking age is 21. So you've got some things that you're not allowed to go into bars. Well, we don't have bars in Virginia. We have restaurants. But you can't go into places like that, or the adult bookstore, those places out in the middle of the country. But you can't go there and until you're 21 or 18, whichever it is. But yet, this stuff is involved in this game, and so kids can go have access to this game and do things before they're even 21, right? So see where I'm saying about the inconsistencies? I'm just like, this is just, If you wouldn't let your kid go to the bar and get a drink, or won't let them drink until they're 21, and society has a law against it, but yet we're allowing free play in a lot of these games, or watching it on television, or what seems like cartoons. Yeah, right. Okay, you're right, Stephanie, because you're obviously not mature enough to do those things till you're 21. Yeah, Stephanie, a virtual simulation can pop curiosity before needed. So important. So important. Why are we rushing this with our kids? They don't need to deal with any of it. There is so much crap out there that they have to walk out of our house and go out into the world every day. And they deal with so much stress and crap at school. My husband deals with so much stuff at work a lot. Because he manages people. You have to deal with attitudes. And he deals with grown men and women at work that act sometimes like they're 12 and 13. I'm just like, wow. How old is this person you work with, And it's just crazy. And so they can't do it out in the real world, but parents are, so parents, you got to be aware. You have to be aware. So here's this first review I read. This guy's like, trust your kids. Trust them not to go into the strip club. Okay. All right. So, the next review I read was written by Dad. Again, at least that's the name on here. It says Big Daddy. And this one says, well, this game has a bad reputation, but it really doesn't deserve it. You can learn a lot of things from this game, such as about stocks and bonds, managing money, and also sports as the spelling, as there is a big golf and tennis mini game. Bad places can easily be avoided, and the violence is no worse than what is seen on the news, and the language isn't as bad as what can be heard in school. Again, this is our justification for things. Okay. Is it a really... No, I'm sorry. It is really... Okay, yeah, I'm not getting the words together. It is a really fun game, and a mature child should be just fine playing it as long as they are not a psycho and will know that it is a game and should never be repeated. Really? This one, I broke down laughing when I read this one. As long as they are not a psycho and will know that it is a game and should never be repeated. How do you know that your child's not going to be a psycho when they turn 21? Because, how do we know anybody? You think someone's fine? You think someone's really cool and laid back and they never have a problem, and the next day you see that you see on the news that they went into some place and they shot up a bunch of people. And I am not saying that this game caused that. I'm just saying, how do we know anybody is fine? Right? That's the story that you hear all the time on the news when you hear that someone went in and did some horrendous act and you're like, what? I never knew. And probably because their parents aren't talking to their kids to find out, what's going on in their kids' mind and their heart and stuff. And so I don't know, you guys. This is a big pet peeve of mine. So here I finally get to a review that's very mature. And so wait till you read this. It says, take it from someone who actually played the game. Okay, read this. This is very good. I'm going to read it to you. You can't read it. I'm going to read it to you. And I think it's a he too, or whatever. Hang on. Oh, it doesn't say. Okay. I'm going to start with saying that the game was very well made. A masterpiece, if you will. Now, I have to agree with that. That game, there's a lot in that game that I saw. However, that is not what this review is about. Most of you reading this are here to see if this is okay for your child. The straight and honest answer is absolutely not. Unlike most who have made a review, I have taken the time to play this game. Now, I don't mean I played it for an hour or 2 hours or even 5 hours. I have played the game in full and have experienced all of its content. Some reviewers before me say that Common Sense, meaning this place that I'm on, commonsense.org, is only telling half-truths and that they are overreacting. If you took the time to play the game, you would realize they are not. I am going to debunk some of the reviews before me. Nothing personal, just the honest truth. A lot of parents on here say that they trust their child to stay away from the optional sexual content the game provides. Good for them. Trust is a good thing. However, and he asked the same question I had been asking this whole time. We've all been teenagers, and did you ever do something that your parents told you not to do? Think about it. We've all done it. A lot of reviewers say that all the sexual content is avoidable. That is not true in capital letters. Some of the content is avoidable, like the strip clubs, which offers topless dancers, or the fact that you can pick up prostitutes on the street and have intercourse with them in your car. However, the story does have sex scenes that bear all. One mission in particular, you are working as a freelance paparazzi taking pictures of celebrities. Next thing you know, you're actively taking pictures of an outdoor sex scene, again, without the option to skip. Some say that it has an educational value in the form of a stock market. There is, in fact, an in-game stock market, but let me elaborate. The stock market is in place for you to abuse it by killing the opposition's customers and employees to raise your stock price, in turn, making a killing on the stock market. Oh, and I can't forget about this. Sometime into the story, you play as Trevor and to continue on, you have to actively take part in torture. You pull some teeth, break some kneecaps, and apply a bit of electricity. I'm sorry, I should be laughing. This is unavoidable and must be done to continue on through the game. Now, this is obviously something you have to do to continue on, which is what the other people weren't saying in their reviews. So now I've only grazed the surface here, he says, and take the time to read some of the kids' reviews. They did give a higher age rating than the parents on here after all. Just so you know, I'm 22 and don't have any children, but I hope this review will help you parents out there make the right decision. You don't have to be a parent to have some common sense. I thought that was an excellent review. Oh, Stephanie, thank you for the clarification. Trevor is completely rated X. I mean, really? Right, yeah, Stephanie, Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, that was the review I was reading of the games, the Grand Theft Auto 5. So is it? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, Trevor is completely rated. oh, I'm sorry. I just hit the microphone. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry if I'm very loud. I get excited and passionate about these things, and I try to set the mic level. So I apologize. Yeah, the scenes are so vivid and very disturbing for adults. Okay, so, oh, you guys. So, Stephanie, you're good. You know all about this. So you know exactly what's going on and what your kids want to be involved in. And if your kids are asking to play, or if my kids were asking to play, I would ask them why they would want to play. So, for example, my son, who is 16, he said that he wanted to play Grand Theft Auto because he thought it was cool. And I don't know how much he really knows about it, only what he's told me. And that he's like, because he wanted to take cars and, smash them into things, he thought it would be kind of fun to just, do that. And I thought, okay, I get that. And like, but if y'all remember, I don't know if they still have the game, but I loved playing Crazy Taxi. My husband and I laughed so hard when we played that game. You're the taxi driver. You got to get people from point A to point B, and you go all over the place. And whether or not you get a tip or whatever is based on if the people had a good ride in your car. And you went all over town. I remember and it was so, you had to get there really fast, and you had to go through the streets and the town and all that stuff. And I was going up on steps and going through parks and all that kind of stuff, and trying to get the people to where they were before the clock ran out so that I could get an extra tip. So my driving was horrible. I was running into things, but my mission certainly wasn't killing people, to make a killing on the stock market or doing some of these other things. My mission was to pick up the person, get them where they needed to go, and get them there before the clock ran out. But that's the craziest I've ever played. I told my son, I said, I could get you that game if they still have it, and you could crash your car into things and stuff. And you have options to get high and drunk in the characters' homes. Oh my gosh, really, Stephanie? Jeez. Oh, you guys. So if I can just encourage you today, this is my pet peeve, okay? Okay, parents, read reviews. Read not just the review on the game. Go to these parent sites. And especially this commonsense.org has kids reviews. There's like on this game, there's almost 600 reviews on this game from the kids. And then there's almost the same amount from the parents, okay? Go through, sift through there, read through, try to find sites that are non-biased where they would, so I like pluggedin.com, and I know it's coming from a faith-based, it's coming from the Focus on the Family website. However, they give a non-biased review. They say, okay, this is what's in the movie. This is what's in, and they give everything. So like, in Grand Theft Auto, this is what you're dealing with, right? They don't say yes or no, you shouldn't do this. They just give it a rating and they do it. And it's in the best that I have used them for years. And they give the best, just a non-biased review. They tell you everything that's in it so you can make your decision on whether or not you want your kids to be playing that or seeing that or listening to that. So they do books, games, movies, books, games, what am I forgetting? Books, games, music. So read the reviews and then discuss with your kids. Discuss why they want to play. What is it that's appealing about this particular game or movie or music or whatever it is that they're listening to. Find out. Get to know why they want to be involved with this or have this or whatever. What is it that's so appealing about it? And then talk it out. Okay, maybe the kids can come to their own conclusion. Oh yeah, well maybe I don't really need to be doing that. Or you'll come to a mutual thing. You'll learn more about where they're coming from. Because the biggest advice I can give you is just if you just saying no and then never saying why, just saying, well, no, you're not going to do that. No, you're not going to have that because I said so. That is not going to fly. Maybe when they're really young, but when they're getting to be tweens, and then your teens and stuff, there better be some discussion and some whys behind that decision. They need to understand why. I know that there are some times that you have to say, look, because I'm making a decision here and that's it. That's okay, but your decision should be follow up. This is why we're not doing this. This is why I think that you should not be doing this. Have a discussion. You do not want to have kids that get to be teenagers and even young adults. I say young adults like 18, 19, 20, right, that are going out of the house and into the world and they're going to do everything that they never got to do. I don't want that for any. Oh, okay, you can't avoid the scene. Oh gosh. So read the reviews, do your research. Do not be indifferent here, ladies and gentlemen, okay? And whoever's watching, caregivers, whatever, responsible parties for children, do not be indifferent here or, do your research. Get involved, okay? Find out what they're playing, okay? Learn about the game, if you will. Maybe play it with them, okay? Watch some gaming stuff on YouTube to see how it all works and stuff, and ask some questions about it. Do it together, okay? Don't be afraid to say no. Okay, if you're going through and you're talking about gaming or music or doing something or whatever, and you make these like, you know what, I think we need to not do it at this time, and then maybe revisit it a little bit later. But don't be afraid to say no, because your kids are going to be like, well, Jimmy has it, and all my other friends have it. How come I can't have it? And then you say no, and they keep doing, how come when Jimmy has it, and they start doing all that with you. Just say no, not at this time. In fact, my husband says if you keep talking like that, that's just that is not going to help you. It's just going to make me say more, So if I can encourage you in that, don't be afraid to say no and stick to your guns, but also be willing to come and revisit it at another time. Is to say, you know what? Until I can learn more about this game or learn more about this, no. I just, talk it out. And don't be afraid to be different. If it really is something that you think is the best decision for your child and it's different than everybody else, don't be afraid to be different, okay? It's okay. It's okay to be different. There are a lot of things that my kids my kids have cell phones. My oldest has a cell phone. Hers is like, fully working cell phone and all that stuff. But my son has my old 6S Plus because I had upgraded. It's not a cell phone. He can't make call. It doesn't have cellular on it, but he can use it if there's Wi-Fi and stuff like that. And and that's testing his responsibility with it. Right now, he's not going anywhere, and I don't need to. I mean, as far as like work or that kind of thing where I can't get a hold of him or I'm not with him or something. But be aware. And also, there's one other thing. And I'm going to see if I can show it to you as well, since we're talking about it. Wasn't trying to be so vulgar. For people to say that kids can avoid this stuff is just not true. Right, Stephanie? That's absolutely right. So I'm going to get on my phone here. I'm going to show you something that we use in my house, and it's called Disney Circle. If you guys have heard of Circle by Disney. It's Circle with Disney, sorry. Here's see this right here? Okay, this is the control panel that I have. Here's let me see if I can come up here a little bit more. All right, you can see my lights. Circle right there, okay? So you want to look for this if you don't have it. So all of us are on here, okay? All of us are in the circle, all right? Now, my husband's at the top, then there's me, and then there's Elizabeth, Jimmy, and Becca. All right? Now, there on the bottom is the magic button. See the pause button on there? Okay? If I was to push that right now, I would pause internet for everybody in the house. The whole house would be, whoosh, okay? That's a lovely button, but I rarely have to use that. But the power is there, okay? So I'm going to click on me, okay? And here comes up my profile right here. Whoops, sorry. Oh, okay, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. All right, there's my profile. And you can see, all right, I have all of my devices. Of course, right now, the only thing on here, I have to get this phone on here because this is a new phone, so I have to get this on here. Right now, my MacBook Pro is on here. Okay, it's got my MAC address. It says it's assigned to me. It is on the Circle network, which means all of the settings that we have set up in our house, meaning like anything that comes up that has this like a pornography site, anything explicit material, whatever. We have all of these settings in here, and every device that comes into our house, I mean every device, I mean our Apple TV, the Roku, we have one of those Ring doorbells, and that's on the network. Everything is on the Wi-Fi, on the Circle network, okay? And the Circle filters everything in, all right? All of our devices are on. So everybody has one. My husband has 4 devices on here. He's got a Mac, iPad, a Surface, and I think this is his phone. It looks like, no, it looks like a computer. No, it's his he's got two Macs in his office because he works from home. It tells you what the usage is today. All right, so my husband has used 40 minutes today. All right, it tells you what his filter is. There's no filter at all, and then here's your filter settings. Okay, so they're color coded. There's no filter at all. Then there's adult, and then teen, kid, and pre-K. So this is for everybody in your house. Then you can see also a list that he has on here, things that are allowed for him, and you can see things like Amazon, Facebook, all of these different platforms that are allowed for him. Right? And look there. See, it says explicit content is not allowed. See? All right? He and I both have the same settings. We're both on the same thing. And this also keeps track of the usage, how much time you spend on it. You can set a bedtime for your kids where it shuts off their internet and their access to the internet certain times, like which we have for my kids. Their bedtime is like at 10 and then it comes back on at 8. You can set time limits, and then you can view the history, all right? Places that they visited, you can view their entire history, okay? That is for all of us, and we're all on there. Now, so here's my son, Jimmy. So you can reward your kids. See the green reward star button right there, okay? So let's say, your kids for us, if they want more internet time than what we allow them, then they have to read a book and it's usually an hour, okay? So you've done an hour of reading, then you can get some more internet times. That's kind of how that works, and we can reward them for things. So that's another thing that we like about this. I have been able to, see right next to my son is a pause button. Whoops, there's my lights again. Okay, and there's a pause button. So what I have done before, I have called my son downstairs for something, and he wasn't coming or whatever. So I figured, okay, he must be on. He had his DS. His DS is on here. I just hit pause, and all of a sudden, wait, it wasn't his DS. It was his iPad. It was an iPad, and I hit pause. That paused all of his things, and next thing I know, he comes right downstairs, and I was like, see, you don't answer me, I'm cutting you off. Now, whoops! Oh no. I didn't want to pause him. I hit the pause button. I'm sorry. He's gonna be yelling. He's gonna be like, "What happened?" Anyway, I would love to answer more questions about the Circle, that device that we use. You can get this. It's very easy to set up in your house, and it's $99. Okay, and sometimes they'll even have it on sale. And this is like one of the best investments that we have had. Everything that comes into this house, we have iPads, we have all of our computers, we have phones. You can even put Circle Go. So like when my kids go out and they go to other stuff, like other places they have Wi-Fi, I can still have access. It still limits them so that they can't just have open access to stuff. There's a whole host of other things, and I've been thinking about doing a video where my husband and I talk about the Circle with Disney in depth, and some other features that we do for monitoring internet access and our home computers and with devices, how we manage social media in our house. If that is something that you would like to see, let me know in the comments below. That my husband and I will get together and do a Q&A on some of the stuff that we do in our house to help protect. I'm not saying to block everything from our kids, but it has helped to, as they grow. So when our kids are younger, we have the view of that the boundaries are very tight when they're little. So think back to like a baby. When the baby is little, you have them in a playpen, or pack and play is what we had. And they're in there. And that is their little world, their little boundary for a little bit, right? Then they get a little bit older. They come out of the pack and play. You put gates up in the house, okay? So we don't want you going down there, okay? Not until you learn how to use the stairs. The stairs weren't banned forever. It's just not right now because you're not ready yet, okay? And then there are other things. So their boundary expanded, but they still had a boundary, right? Pretty soon the gate comes off and they can go up and down the stairs, right? The gates come off in the kitchen or whatever, and then we start going outside, and the boundaries start getting bigger. Now, when a boundary has been violated and something has happened and it's gotten out of control, we have pulled the boundary back in. So I'm going to go back to the baby thing. The baby's in the pack and play. Baby starts coming out and they're crawling. And next thing you know, that they're getting into things, and they're just like, maybe you haven't quite baby-proofed the rest of your house yet. So, so there's a little give and take there. The baby's like, we're doing this. All right, nope, got to go back in the playpen for a little bit, okay? And then they come back out. And so as they grow and their boundaries get bigger, and sometimes you have to pull them back in. So that's my little example there about how we monitor things. It's like, because, there's no way that you can, or that you should, shelter them from everything, because when they are 18, 19, 20 or whatever, and they are out on their own for good or for the first time, they're going to be shocked and they're going to be so overwhelmed. We have all of this time now to help them navigate and be prepared to navigate what they're going to be bombarded with. Okay, and when they're out there on their own fully, they will have had help and guidance from us and how to navigate these crazy waters out there. So yes, thank you for. Okay, let me see what we got here. All right, so that was it. I want to say thank you to everyone for joining me today. I wanted to give you a shout out to, who was in the chat with me today? So I want to give a shout out to Athena, Passion as a Verb, and Stephanie, The Main Daniels, Becky, Painting the Roses Red. I appreciate you all coming in and joining me live today. It's so nice to know that there are people that are actually sitting there listening to you. And also, I have 21 more subscribers to get to 400, and my goal for Vlogust was to get to 400. So I'm hoping that you will be able to help me reach that goal by subscribing to my channel. Click the bell so you know when I go live for videos like this. I'm also wanted to mention, if you've heard of the channel Pusha Studios, P-U-S-A, the S has a little carrot top over the top of that, Pusha Studios. That is a channel that will help your channel to grow. And I have been in, they have live chats, live streams, like they've got something going on every day, every night of the week. And so I would go to their channel and check them out. But they are having a potluck. They call it Pusha Potluck on Thursday of this week on the 22nd. And I need 10 channels. I accepted a challenge to bring 10 channels with me on that day at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on August 22nd to go to their channel for their Pusha Potluck. And you can have the opportunity to grow your channel. You might even have your channel reviewed. We play a game there where we spin the wheel. And for the time that we're in the live chat, there are several chances for you to win to have your channel reviewed. And it's a chance to have fun, meet new channels, have a meet and greet with some people. I have met so many people in there, and I've only been in there like a week and a half is when I started, when I joined the fam, the Blue Wrench group. And so I wanted to invite you to that. If you're going to come and you do come, please use the hashtag #TheRecycledMom so that I know that you're there, and that I know that I've had 10 channels that are going to come with me. And it will help them. 2, it will help you. It's a win-win for everybody, okay? So come join the fam. Come join the Blue Wrench group. And thank you for watching so far. And thank you for tuning into Vlogust. Whew! Vlogust episode, what's today, 20? 20th? Yes, Vlogust episode 20, done and in the books. Catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.